I thought I'd do another scentless musings for the Southbound pre-order that's currently open. It opened on Wednesday, July 31st, and unless they reach their turnaround time early, they will close Wednesday, August 7th. Usually that happens somewhere between like 5 and 7 p.m. They'll announce that on the Facebook group, but you have plenty of time to get your orders in. It's open for a week, and if you're not already part of the Facebook group, and you want to go ask questions, get some other perspectives on the scents, see what everyone else is ordering, I highly recommend getting on there. You can also see if for some reason the pre-order does close early, you'll get that notification. If you are interested in ordering in this pre-order, go to this right there, and on the side it will show you RTS or pre-order options. If you see something that's under the RTS or the candles, go in a separate time and place that order because they don't combine orders with pre-order items. So they will not ship at the same time, and you'll have 2 charges for shipping in your checkout. Now, y'all can pause this if you're new to ordering from Southbound. Read this, read any of the information on the website that will help you. There's a 4 to 6 weeks turnaround, and the flat rate shipping of $9 regardless of how big or small your order is. This pre-order, there is two sizes that are being offered. Wax cakes, which are these soufflés in a souffle cup, but they have a really large embed on top, which makes them more wax than the typical souffle. So you're going to get somewhere between 5 to 6 ounces. These are so cute. If you are wanting to just try a scent and aren't sure about it, this is plenty of wax for you to give it a chance, maybe even have a few times melting it, depending on what space. They usually are multicolored layers of the wax poured into the souffle, and then a complementary color on the top with the embed that's related to whatever the season or type of scent this is. These are super, super cute. These are $8.80. The other option is the shape bags. Those come in the bakery bags with the kind of clear plastic see-through window in the front. These are 8 to 8.5 ounces, and these are going to be an assortment of shapes. Y'all, if you have never seen Southbound shapes, they are some of the best ones out there. She has just such a wide range of variety, and they're always coordinated with the different scent or season it's from. I love her shape bags. This is my favorite size to order from her, and there's something just so nice about having some options. You don't have to cut your wax. A lot of the sizes are going to be the right size to just pop one into a warmer. Every now and then you'll have some more medium or large size shapes in the bags, so you may have to cut up a few, but the majority of the bags are going to be just grab and go, and that's something I really like about these. They are now $12.65, and all of the scents on this list can be ordered in either of these sizes, or both if you want. So let's go ahead and hop into the scent list. I have melted quite a few of these, but there's also a lot that I have never melted, and so I'm really excited to try them. If you have melted any of these, whether it's one I've melted or not, or especially if it's one that I haven't melted, would you let me know what your thoughts are down below, because I still haven't placed my order yet, and I'm still kind of on the fence on a few. I would greatly appreciate that. So first up is Good Morning Pumpkin. This is pumpkin pecan waffles and zucchini bread. Yes, I know this sounds like a very simple, basic blend, and it is, but it is so amazing. I do not like zucchini bread at all in wax. It most of the time gives me a headache, but this is one of the few blends that I can still melt, and when I melt it, I still just love melting this blend because it is just so wonderful together, and the zucchini bread is not too savory or too spicy. It mixes really well, and her pumpkin pecan waffles is such a great oil from her. I don't feel like it's heavy maple or like overly sweet or like doughy, if that makes sense. It's really one of my favorite blends, honestly, from Southbound, just because I will reach for this when I just need a comforting scent, and I melt this year round. If I didn't already have like a loaf and 2 bakery bags right now, I would be ordering more this time. It's a popular one. It comes back every year, and I'm going to skip it this time because I'm well stocked, but next year I will probably need to pick up again, just because I do go through this one. Next up is one I've never smelled. I haven't melted it. It's Pumpkin Patch, and it's pumpkin crunch cakes. apple, buttercream, cinnamon, and baked oatmeal cookies. I am so curious about this one. So if you have melted this one, let me know. I'm not a big pumpkin scent person. I'm definitely more team apple when it goes for the apple versus pumpkin thing in the fall. But I love a great oatmeal scent. And I have had pumpkin crunch cake from Southbound. That is an oil. There's a few different versions from suppliers out there. And of the pumpkin crunch cake versions I've tried in the past, my favorite ones were from Southbound and from Soul's Inspiration. They both had the best pumpkin crunch cake oil, in my opinion, and took a scent that normally I wouldn't want to reorder to one that I would purchase again from both of those vendors. So I think it's going to be that oil, but blended with like this cinnamon apple buttercream and oatmeal cookie scent, and that just sounds really good. So this one is probably going to be on my list for this pre-order pickup and try. Probably a shape bag, maybe a wax cake. I just haven't decided, but I am definitely interested in this one. Next up, pumpkin cookies and milk. This is fresh from the oven pumpkin spice cookies with warm sweetened milk. I have had this one. I still actually have maybe 25% of a shape bag left, so I don't need to order more, especially since I'm just not a big pumpkin bakery person. But if you do like pumpkin, this is a really nice one. I feel like the spice note in this is not too spicy. That's one of the things that gets me often about pumpkin spice kind of bakery scents in the fall, that pumpkin spice is just like borderline bitter, and this blend is not. It's a little bit more creamy and a mellow pumpkin note, and part of that is probably due to the cookies and milk, which is a house blend from Southbound. They have a variety of different house blends like cookie jar, cream puff, cookies and milk that are vanilla bakery type blends, and they're really, really popular for a reason. So I think the cookies and milk definitely make it sweeter and creamier. I don't find the cookie note to be super strong cookie in this. It definitely has more pumpkin than cookie in this. But this is one that has been nice in the past, and I haven't been like, oh, can't melt any more of this. I plan on finishing the rest of the bakery bag that I have this fall. So if you are a pumpkin bakery fan, this might be a good one for you. Next up is pumpkin season. This is pumpkin butter, vanilla bean, pretzel, honey graham cracker, pumpkin pie, toasted marshmallow, and smoked woods. This is a single oil, and you can get it from several other vendors. If you have tried Sassy Girl Aroma's pumpkin pretzel latte, this is the same scent. And if you've seen a vendor that's listed like pumpkin or pumpkin pie filling with pretzel, a honey or honey graham cracker note, sometimes some vendors drop off parts of the description, like the smoked woods isn't always listed in everyone's, but it's the same oil. I've had this from 3 different vendors, and they smell the same. So if you love this one from another vendor and you can't buy it from Sassy Girl Aroma, for example, right now, then you can from Southbound. Now, I've had this one before, and it's not one that would be a repurchase for me, just because there's something in it that my nose doesn't particularly like, but I know that a lot of people really like this scent, and it's been popular enough to where Rachel, the owner of Southbound, has offered this every fall since she first started offering it like 3 years ago. So I know there's some stocking up majorly on this scent going on right now in the Facebook group, but it will be back. And so if you're being influenced, seeing other people buying a lot, maybe just get a wax cake and see if you like it first, right? I think that the woods part is not super smoky to my nose. It reminds me of going out into a forest, like in the fall time, and you go up to a tree and you start peeling some of that bark off the side of the tree, and you're peeling off a little bit of the strips of that initial layer of wood, as well, maybe even some greenness underneath the edge of it, where the tree has been feeding itself through the water and all that stuff is going on. So you get like this woody green barky note in it to me. There is a pretzel note, but I don't find it to be super yeasty or even super salty. And the pumpkin is there, but when I smell this, I'm not like, oh my gosh, this is a heavy pumpkin scent. It's more creamy, and I think the part in this blend that I'm not a fan of, and it's probably just my nose being weird, that happens. We all have scent preferences that don't exactly line up, and we pick up different things in blends that other people might not. So I really don't want you to make a decision based off of the scents that I like or scents that I don't like. You need to look at the scent notes for yourself and decide if it's something that you would like. There is a slightly sour note in this blend to me, and I've melted a few times. I don't know exactly which part of the blend it's coming from, but I feel like it might be the honeyed graham cracker part. Normally, I've been really loving graham cracker scents the last like year or so, but there's something about this that just doesn't sit well with my nose. So, for that reason, this is not a repurchase for me. But if you are looking for a scent that is really unusual and one that when it arrives, it is good to go right away, you can start popping into your warmers. Pumpkin season is one of those. It is a powerhouse. By the way, Good Morning Pumpkin, also fantastic performer, 9 out of 10, at least on strength of throw and intensity. Pumpkin Cookies hasn't been quite as strong, but it's still a strong scent, probably in that 8.5 range. None of these are ones that I've melted have been like medium performers. Next up, pecan waffle pound cake. This is pumpkin pecan waffles blended with creamy vanilla pound cake. This one I've not had, but I am kind of curious to try it because I do like her pumpkin pecan waffles oil, and I have a feeling I will like this one. I don't know if her strawberry pound cake oil is a version from a supplier or if it's when she's blended herself, but if she uses the same vanilla pound cake from her strawberry pound cake in this, then I know this is going to be so rich and decadent, because that vanilla pound cake oil, it takes a little bit of time to cure. You really have to give that pound cake note a chance. But 3 or 4 months should be enough for the vanilla part to really shine. And you can melt it sooner, but you probably won't get as much of the depth and the richness that eventually will come out in the blend. And it's so dense and delicious. Like, you used full fat butter and cream to make this pound cake, and that just sounds amazing mixed with her pumpkin pecan waffles. So I'm probably going to pick some of this up. I haven't decided the size, but if you've had this one, let me know. Do you think it's the same pound cake oil? Next up, Circus Treats. This is blue raspberry snow cones, yellow cake bites, and cotton candy. I have not melted this in a really long time, like maybe 3 years or so, 2.5 or 3 years. So my nose and my scent preferences have probably done some changing, and maybe I would like it more this time around, but I did not originally like this when I melted this several years ago, and I suspect it wouldn't be one I like now, largely because I just don't like a lot of the slushy type scents like blue raspberry, cherry slushy, and especially when they're mixed with bakery scents. My nose just doesn't go on a happy train there, but I know there's people who like this scent, and if you like those kinds of things, like the slushy type scents, I've heard good things from other people who like those kinds of scents. So I don't want to dissuade you just because it's something that doesn't fit my scent preference. Next up, marshmallow bread. This is marshmallow frosted zucchini bread. I've never tried this one, and I'm on the fence trying it because I do feel like this is one that I see a lot of people asking back. And because I know I can melt her zucchini bread in the Good Morning Pumpkin, I'm kind of tempted to try this in a wax cake, but I'm always wary of marshmallow scents just because a lot of marshmallow scents aren't super strong. But I did recently, earlier this year, get some marshmallow blends from Southbound, and I haven't gotten a chance to melt them yet, but they do smell really strong and marshmallowy in the bag. So I'm tempted to try this one. And this is one I'm very curious. If you've melted it, would you let me know down below how strong is the marshmallow? And is the zucchini, like, is this a very heavy zucchini blend or not? Next up, Feeling Naughty. Oh, I love this blend, y'all. This is warm, salty pretzels, glazed cinnamon donuts, and sugar cookie dough. And I think this is probably a popular one with a lot of people because it usually comes back once or twice a year at least. This is definitely a top favorite for me from Southbound and probably my favorite pretzel scent from any vendor. The cinnamon donut is not spicy. It's a nice cinnamon sugar and there's not like that harshness to it. And the pretzel is not like doughy. It's got like a nice salty note in there. You get this fried kind of dough note, like the fried donuts, and cinnamon sugar and cookie dough. And this is a scent where I majorly misjudged it on cold for quite a while before I eventually melted it. And when I melted it, I was like, wow, this changes so much on cold. So if you get this and you smell it and think this doesn't really smell like anything special, warm it and give it a chance because it is so delicious. If you like cinnamon sugary or pretzely type blends, I have a feeling you might like this one, and it is a big love of mine. I don't need any more right now because I still got, I think most of a loaf, maybe. I need to double check that actually, but I do love this one. And whenever I'm getting close to running out, I restock up next time she offers it. So highly, highly recommend that one. Again, this one also performs very well. Next up is lavender milk and cookies. This is lavender, vanilla, freshly baked sugar cookies, and sweetened sugar. So a kind of milk and cookies scent that I was talking about with the pumpkin milk and cookies before. It's a creamy vanilla bakery. I don't feel like the cookie note is super strong, but if you have tried lavender cream puff, it's going to be similar. That lavender bakery with kind of a vanilla, creamy bakery note along with it. And it's the same lavender oil that has been really popular in her lavender cream puff blends. So if you're looking for something that's similar to that, since I know some people missed out on the cream puff blend that was just offered like 2 months ago, then maybe try this one. I love lavender blends and I love lavender bakery. I've had this one before. It's been a few years since I melted the last of it, so I may pick up a wax cake maybe, and see if I like it a little bit better. But in the past, this particular lavender just has kind of an artificial note to it, and it's just not a lavender that I enjoy reaching for a ton. I don't dislike the lavender. It's just not one of the lavenders that I really, really love. But again, my nose is weird apparently because I feel like I'm one of the only people who doesn't love, like seriously love this lavender oil. So if you are branching out, trying lavender, or branching out and trying some lavender bakery, give this one a try because I know a lot of people love it, and I definitely don't want to influence anyone based off of just my preferences. And it was a good performer. It will need a little bit of sitting time just because of all the vanilla in here, but it should throw pretty well if you've given it a few months. Now, apple in my eye. Oh my gosh, I love this one. I'm so happy that it is back. This is apple cider donuts and freshly baked sugar cookies with sweet vanilla. I had seen this on pre-orders for a few years, and I kept telling myself, oh, I'll get around to trying it because I love apple cider donut scents. And I didn't order it until finally last year. And I picked up a shape bag, and I started melting it within a few weeks of getting it. So still pretty freshly poured at that point. And it performed very, very well for me. And I immediately knew I had to hold on to the rest of that bag until I could get more because, y'all, this is amazing. If you like apple bakery scents during the fall, get this one. It is so delicious. That apple cider donut, it's not super spicy, it's not like cloying. And I know it sounds kind of basic with just like the sugar cookie, but that sugar cookie note in there is so rich and delicious, and it just brings something to this blend that like my nose could not get enough of. This is the blend on this list that I am the most excited about it being here, and I'm getting 2 or 3 shape bags at least because hopefully it will continue being something that's offered every fall. I feel like it has been in the past, so I know other people love it, but I'm so excited to have this one. Next up, Ghostly Brew Cupcakes. This is cider donuts, vanilla bean noel, toffee, sweet, and slightly fruity buttercream whipped into a fluffy vanilla cake. I've had this one before. It's basically a cider donut scent mixed with cupcakes at Tiffany's. And of the two, between the apple of my eye and this one, if you're looking for an apple or cidery kind of bakery, I would definitely go with the apple of my eye for me personally, because the cider donuts are not the same oil. The cider donut in the Ghostly Brew cupcakes is a cider donut oil that a lot of vendors have. I've had it from L3, I've had it from some other vendors. So if you've had it from L3, you may know exactly what that smells like, but it has a kind of a deeper note in something about the spices in this particular oil. And again, this has nothing to do with Southbound or any other vendor that offers it. This is a supplier that makes this particular oil, and it could be just my nose is picking something up in it weird. I've never cared for it. There's just like this mustiness to the spice note that I'm just not a big fan of. It's definitely more syrupy cider instead of like the apple cider donut one, which is more like freshery, juicier apple instead of like thick, kind of syrupy, dense smelling. Um, that's just my nose and how it's picking up. I could be wildly wrong about this, right? But I'm just sharing my experience with the things I've melted here. So, um, I recognize that each of our noses may not detect the same parts of the blends, and I mean no offense to anyone. If this is one that you really like, please understand um, it's not anything wrong with you. It's really me and my nose that has problems with certain scents. So this one's not a repurchase for me, and um, if you were wanting to know my opinion, I would go with Apple in my eye for the Apple Bakery scent here. Next up, Magical Menagerie. This is Herbal Lavender, Palo Santo, and Smoky Vanilla. Oh, I'm so happy this one has made it. I have not had any of this one to melt in a really long time, to the point where I kind of have forgotten exactly what it smelled like because it's been a few years. I'm definitely more of an herbal lavender person, and I like her Palo Santo. But again, it's also been like a year since I've melted any of the Palo Santo blends from Southbound, so I need to melt some of the Palo Santo I have to refresh my memory of like where it lands on the Palo Santo scale. I don't feel like it's too masculine. It's definitely not an incensey heavy Palo Santo, and I didn't feel like this blend was super smoky when I melted it before. So I'm planning on picking this one up. I'm not 100% sure what size, but I'm excited to melt it again and kind of compare to, how my nose has changed over the last several years since I last melted it. I know this is a favorite for a lot of people in the group as well. And if you kind of like Palo or like unusual lavender blends, it's definitely one you should give a try at some point. Next up is zombie bread. This is gooey caramel cookie dough and zucchini bread. I've never had this one. I'm just not a big caramel fan and zucchini bread, but lots of people love this one. It gets asked for every year. I feel like it gets offered almost every fall too, so it must be good. I'm tempted to try it at some point. So I'm in between whether I should give this one or the marshmallow bread one a chance because they're both kind of similar. But let me know if you've had both. Which one did you like better? Next up is Ghoul Gang, and this is raspberry, strawberry, blackberry, citrus, smooth whipped cream, sweet musk, and sugar crystals. And I actually just got a sample of this in a recent order, so I have been melting this in my bathroom today because I wanted to get a better idea of it versus just on cold. So maybe it's pretty freshly poured, and maybe I should have let it have a little bit more time. But currently, what I'm getting when it's melting is this mixed berry note with kind of a more prominence in the raspberry and the blackberry, and those notes are really nice. I like that part of the scent. Then there is a creamy vanilla musk note in here that is kind of body care-esque. Right now, it's a little too much musk for my personal preference, but I do wonder if I let it sit a little bit longer, how that would have transformed, because I know a lot of people love this and even mention it as one of their favorite fruity scents. So I'm tempted to pick up a wax cake and let it sit a little bit longer than the month and give it another chance at some point, just because so many people have talked highly about it, and I do like that raspberry blackberry note that's in here. I don't know. Let me know if you have had this one before. Does the musk note kind of tone down once it's cured some, or? Next up is Fall Flannel. This is Vanilla Bean, Tonka, Smoky Woods, Caramel Clove, and Fresh Clean Laundry. I've never had this one, but it sounds really interesting. I feel like Rachel has some very unique laundry blends, and at least for me personally, I'm not a big laundry person, although I've started becoming a little bit more of a fan of laundry since in the last like year and a half. But every laundry scent that I've had from her has been something I've enjoyed. Um, so I'm tempted to pick up a wax cake and give this one a try. The smokiness and the clove kind of worry me more than the laundry does, because I don't like heavy clove notes, or super heavy smokiness. If you've tried this one, let me know also. Is the flannel actually like the Bath and Body Works flannel oil? I'm not a fan of that oil. Um, or is it kind of a different type of blend that's in here? I'm on the fence on trying this one, but very curious. Next up is Spooky Season. This is pumpkin pie, vanilla ice cream, and spiced oatmeal cookies. Not one I've had either. I'm tempted with the oatmeal cookies, but there is the pumpkin apple oatmeal cookie one from earlier up that I also haven't tried, but I will probably go and pick that one instead, just because I don't need multiple pumpkin scents, since I don't melt a lot of pumpkin during the fall. But if you've had this one, let me know. Is it something that I should reconsider on this list? I do really love a good oatmeal cookie scent. Next up, Princess Peach. Strawberry pound cake, peaches and cream, toasted marshmallow. This is amazing scent. This is a really popular one. I love this blend from Southbound, and largely because her peach oil, to me, is the best peach oil out there. I love peach scents, and I try peach scents from a lot of vendors, and I feel like hers is really special peach oil. It's in all the peach blends that I've tried from her. Peachy Keen, the recent peach cream puff, which is chef's kiss. It's amazing smelling on cold. I cannot wait to melt that one. Party in the USA, and of course Princess Peach. They all have this peach oil, and to my nose, the peach is not a gummy peach ring scent, nor is it body care or floral leaning. This has a really good juicy note in there, but it's also creamy, almost like peach ice cream that you've made with fresh, real, ripe peaches, and you're getting that punchy summer juicy fruit, like was ripened off the tree in your backyard. This peach oil is such a good performer, and it's just, my nose cannot get enough of it whenever I melt it. There's this richness to it, and that is mixed with her strawberry pound cake, which she has a great strawberry pound cake oil. I do find the strawberry pound cake needs to sit just a little bit, because that pound cake in there really benefits, so you can get the full depth of the richness of the pound cake. But overall, this blend, super yummy, such a like appealing scent. I feel like you can melt it year round. So if you like strawberry pound cake scents or peach scents and you haven't tried this one, I highly recommend it. And it's a popular one. It comes back on a regular basis. I know it's usually offered like once or twice a year. So if you have missed it before, you can grab it now or next time. It will be back around sometime. The last blend is also something that I have melted previously, actually in the last year. This is Snowdrop Cake, and it's almond rose, benzoin, cassis, and black currant. This is supposed to be a dupe for Lush Snow Cake. So I've already seen there's a lot of popularity in the group for this pre-order of this scent, and while I think it's important to recognize that all of our noses can perceive scents very differently, and I don't want to put anyone's experience down who likes a scent. I do worry that there's going to be people who order this scent, who are influenced to buy it, who are going to be disappointed. So the rose note is not the part of this blend that I think is something you should be scared of. I don't really detect the rose. But the benzoin is the problem in this blend. You get almond and benzoin, and if you're not familiar with benzoin, it is a resin that is used in perfumery, but it's also used in medicinal tinctures, and it's probably what makes this, when I melted it, smell like wound wash. That's not really something that I want my house to smell like, so it's not a repurchase for me. But I know, that part of the blend may not jump out as much to everyone. And so I don't want to discourage anyone who wants to try this from picking it up. But I just do want to caution you because I worry that there's going to be people who are disappointed when they get this. Get a smaller amount and try it first before ordering bags and bags. Because I've had a conversation with 3 other people, and I'm not going to share their names here, but I've talked to 3 other people who are all fans of Southbound. We all love Southbound, right? But we've all melted this version from Southbound and smelled the Lush version, and none of us think this smells like an actual dupe for the Lush version. And we all feel like the benzoin makes this smell very medicinal, and it's not a repurchase. So it's not even really just my opinion, but I know in this community, anything negative about a scent, people are hesitant to voice because you don't want to hurt a customer's experience. You don't want to hurt the vendor. And I really hope that Rachel and anyone who likes this scent understands this is no disrespect to you. This is just me sharing what this smelled like to me, because I wouldn't have ordered this originally if someone had told me how strong the benzoin was as well. And I think that we're in a community where it's great to focus on all the positive, good things. That's really where our focus should be. But just because all of this are blind ordering scents, and there is such a culture of FOMO, you've got to try this just because someone else likes it. I think it all the more is important for any one of us who has set ourselves up in a channel, or who maybe even if you don't have a channel, voices thoughts on scents, to be honest about what something smells like. And I also feel like it's doing a disservice to the vendor if they think a lot of people are clambering over to get this scent, and they'll stock up a lot on this oil to offer it because they think a lot of people love it. But if no one's giving the feedback saying this doesn't smell good, this doesn't smell like an actual dupe to at least a decent amount of us, then that's a disservice to the vendor as well. So I hope you understand this is not a it's not a diss of anyone who likes this. And if you are curious about the scent, I would encourage you to try it. Don't be influenced by me or the things that I'm excited to buy, or by the things that I wouldn't buy. Make your own decision. Use your own judgment. That's the most important thing we can all do for ourselves in this, wax community. And look at the scent notes. Look at a variety of different people's experiences melting a scent, if you have the option to, and make the decision for yourself. That's all the scent lists for this particular pre-order. It will close next week on Wednesday, probably early evening, so there's plenty of time to get your order in. Let me know down below which of these scents are repurchases for you. Are you participating in the pre-order? Are there any scents you've never tried but you're really excited to try, or ones that you are going to stock up again because they are favorites of yours? I know the ones that I'm trying to continue sticking on my low buy, so I'm probably going to get Pumpkin Patch, Pumpkin Pecan Pound Cake, maybe some Lavender Milk and Cookies, Apple of My Eye, and Magical Menagerie. The others that are favorites of mine on this list, I am very well stocked up, and so I don't need to, but this list does have several that are big loves of mine. Good Morning Pumpkin, such great scent. Feeling Naughty, again, that is like, both of these are probably top 10 favorites from Southbound for me. Apple of My Eye, amazing scent. And Princess Peach, all of those are great performers, delicious scents, and they'd be the ones, that I always want to keep stocked up on. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope everyone has a great rest of your week and weekend. Thanks for watching.